Hello, I'm Battlescar1313, and I'm going over DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition. And I played it on the PS5, which probably helped my experience because this was an awesome game. And I just got done playing Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy Rebirth, Strangers of Paradise, uh, Devil May Cry 4, stuff like that. And this was a breath of fresh air. I was expecting this game to be so hard that I wouldn't be able to platinum it, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong. This is one of the easiest platinums I think I've gotten. Yeah. So the first playthrough that I did was on, I would like to say Legendary Son of Sparta, but that wasn't it. Nightmare? I don't even know. It was the hardest you can get when you first start off. The only thing I should have done was pick hardcore mode, because there's Nephilim, there's a whole bunch of modes. So the first mode doesn't really matter. What you're doing is getting all of the weapons and the story element trophies out of the way. Then I don't think there's a way to skip to Dante Must Die mode right away. I think you do have to unlock it. So the most difficult part of this game for me was my first playthrough. It wasn't until after I had all of these new weapons unlocked, which is 5 melee weapons. There's this weapon, an axe, some fists, and I think some daggers or shurikens. But then you got Rebellion, so that's 5. 2 of them are based on light, 2 of them are based on darkness, and Rebellion is the Nephilim weapon of choice, but it is a demonic blade given by his father Sparta to him. In this part of the game, I realized that this is something huge that I don't want Devil May Cry to ever lose, and that is Dante's platforming. I rarely use Devil Trigger. It's good when you're in a pinch, but all the enemies here, you can take down multiple ways. But once you figure out what the enemies are like, you'll understand that this game repeats the same enemies over and over again. And
The harder they fall.
the reason why it wasn't so difficult later on was during this time I'm understanding the story, I'm getting all of the weapons, and I'm just now beginning to power up Dante. So I guess you could make this game real hard if you were playing Dante Must Die and you just unchecked all your powers. Then you'd be the weakest form. But the first playthrough I think was kind of the hardest for me. And the bosses that you fight are very easy. The hunter, the succubus, the lady and the baby, the Mundus,
The Nephilim.
even the last 2 bosses, all I had no problem with, and that was what I needed in my life for a moment, was a game that was really easy, and I think that this game was it. And
Got it. You must be the
how
eye.
would I rank it with the other Devil May Cries? Well, DMC Devil May Cry Definitive Edition would probably get a top 3 nominee, and I think it's my
Ambush.
third favorite.
You flunking
I
bastards.
think that Devil May Cry 1 is my favorite, then it's Devil May Cry 2, then it's this one, then it'll be probably 3, 4, and 5 in that order, because they did just kind of get better after a while. Or it'd be like, yeah. But can I sit there and point out the similarities in this story with other Devil May Cry? It resembles Devil May Cry 3 so much with Dante and Virgil. And I felt more threatened with Virgil in Devil May Cry 3 than I did in his very last speech about how people need to be governed. And when I heard him say that, I'm like, yeah, I completely agree. People need to be governed. Well, Dante's was like, no, let's just let everything happen the way it wants to, which is kind of anarchy in my viewpoint. See, I have a problem with video games and movies and TV shows. I like the villain. And to classify Virgil as a villain in this game kind of made the whole build-up of the game anticlimactic, because we're teamed up with Virgil and Kat as Dante
Great.
to stop the enemy, and at the last second Virgil makes a mistake, and it just didn't put any red flags up. I mean, yeah, okay, he was corrected, but I don't see in Devil May Cry 3 he was bringing hell on Earth. Like in this one, Virgil helps a lot. He gives you a lot of weapons to make hell disappear on Earth. But there are 3 guns, I believe. There's the pistols, the shotgun, and then whatever he hands you right here in this elevator.
I took it off a security guard. Might look like a taser in the real world, but it's a powerful demon weapon in Limbo.
Thanks.
Now I see what it is. Okay.
Virgil, you will make your way towards
So,
chamber in the real world. Dante,
with this
there's no
game,
way through from
once you have all the weapons unlocked, the reason why it doesn't get harder is because you can always upgrade Dante's abilities that make him stronger and stronger over time. So even though I was having troubles in the beginning getting S ranks on everything, it wasn't until I played the game, I think I played it a maximum 5 times, maybe 4,
His unborn child.
and that was enough to platinum it
Got it. But
and get
do
all
not
the
try and
trophies.
kill him. He's immortal until I shut down the Hellgate. Right. This is it, Dante.
So Mundus was
Put our lives
the
into
villain
each other's
in
hands completely,
part 1,
without hesitation.
Ouroboros was in part 2,
Brothers.
then Virgil was in part 3, then the Savior, we'll call it, was 4, and then 5, I don't really want to give it away. But this, you gotta look at the time of release. When it first came out, this game was not as polished as it was as back then. So I think I got the best version of the game and got to see the company apologize on the internet that this is a bad game. Like, this is not a bad game, developer. Like, it's demonic on the eyes. If I wasn't so mature, I might have been scared about some of it. It's all a little bit twisted, yeah. And if anything, it wouldn't have hurt to add more enemies, but you got Bloody Palace to help with all that. So I don't see how so many of the fan base hate it so much when even the developers hate it. That's the thing, is I've actually heard that the developers weren't having a good time with this. And, you know, it doesn't really strike me as a bad game. I actually give this like an 8 out of 10 game. I'll play it for fun. I'll get all the stars that I can get and gold orbs, and then I'll take off all my power-up abilities and see how much I can take. But actually, that's one thing about Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5 is the difficulty to get the platinum. They've been out for so long. They've had so many releases, so many years of gamers to play, so many multi-million copies they sold, and not a lot of them got that platinum trophy, which I don't understand. And the thing is, I can't get the platinum on Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5. I don't think so. I'll try one day. I bought them because, and I bought this because I didn't think that the platinums were going to be possible. So I thought I was buying games that were going to last me a long time with challenges always awaiting. Here I was just bent on getting some
Self shut.
chapter
You'll have a few seconds.
exclusive
Rest.
trophies. So I had to fight all the enemies in that one area, the vent. Then I had to get past all these enemies. I had to kill them all. Here I just hoped that that was it, and I went for the door, which I ended up getting a trophy, so it wasn't difficult. And like I said, if you just wait and play until you get at least the Dante Must Die, you're not going to have a problem. You're going to be so powered that the game's not as difficult as your initial playthrough, where you don't have all the weapons, you don't have all the power-ups, and yeah, these Lost Souls, they hiss at you when you're around them, so that's your indication that there's an item you can get called Item Fighter. I don't think it's needed. There's secret missions, like in every Devil May Cry, and they let you start over from the beginning, the moment you fell, which is really nice. Then I think that just because I had such an easy time with it, that it was such a relief. And I'll compare this with other hack and slashers. Well, nobody's gonna beat Link when it comes to hack and slash. I think Zelda actually is probably the very first hack and slash game there was. And then Dante set the bar up on some action base with the pistols and the guns. Even the pistols usually don't help that much in any of them. Then yeah, comparing this is my third favorite Devil May Cry. I'm always gonna like Devil May Cry 1 better, and I'm gonna like Devil May Cry 2 better, but this is up there because I still have yet to play 5, but I played 3 and 4, and those ones I just don't think I'm that great at. And this one I thought in the end that I was pretty decent. And then I went over my reviewing of my save files and realized that the game scales so easily that you don't have to really grind, unless you think that replaying chapters is a grind. It's not. It's probably why you bought the game. And when I got to this point, I completed the final boss, and got, I think, triple S rank on some mission. I forget what popped this trophy right here.
Further terrorist attacks could take place.
Skipping. Maybe I defeated the boss without taking damage, or it could be my triple S rank. I'm not sure, but there was a trophy for getting triple S ranking on 10 missions with Dante, which was half of them, and then 5 missions on Virgil, which is all but one of them. So you don't have to be good at one mission with Virgil, but you have to do all the other ones almost perfectly. Which it wasn't those perfects, because there are some times I got in a situation in Devil May Cry 1 with the final nightmare, and evidently you can manipulate the difficulty of the final nightmare, and I got so far into my Dante Must Die mode, I did not want to start a new game, and I ended up defeating the nightmare. But I didn't have any problems with the bosses in this game. See right here, I got a trophy for getting all triple S ranks. In my Dante Must Die mode, I believe I still had some missions to do. but I came here because I had over 10k. Actually, this is the one where I get the abilities, isn't it? Yep. All my abilities were maxed up before I got to finish Dante Must Die mode. I don't know really what this trophy was. It's got me kind of curious. Alright, so Final Fantasy, Link's probably the best. Dante's the second best. God of War is probably third best. And then it just expanded from there. It's like Final Fantasy has games like this, and I could see a lot of Final Fantasy 16 in this if it was the same creator, because of the weapons. You know, half of them are light, half of them are darkness, and the way to use abilities is kind of the same. At this point, I had 10,000, what do we call them, blood points, red orbs. So I got the trophy, then I'd close app, open it back up, and get the Devil Trigger Cross one in the end. And again, nothing was difficult. The character Cat is my favorite. I mean, Lady's gonna be my all-time favorite. Then it's Trish, then it's Cat. Cat is really good. Then it's Lucia. And then it's Kirei. And I don't really know. Oh, there's a girl in Devil May Cry 5, which is probably the next game I'm gonna play. But I can't rank her yet because I don't know her well enough. I haven't played the game she's in. So I don't know how easy this game was with you, but I found it ridiculously easy, even when I wasn't getting full S ranks. At the end of the day, it was worth my money. The controls were good. The visions were all as good as I needed them to be. And it wasn't as challenging as Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5. That's the truth about it. It's on a different wavelength for sure. But you could say Devil May Cry 3, 4, and 5. They're a lot alike. It's just of the difficult the trophies that you gotta get. But here I got to fight some new monsters. There's the Wisp and this Trapper. And Virgil, his spinning blades right there deal a lot of damage, and it stacks up the stylish meter so very fast. So even as Virgil, the platforming and stuff, it wasn't that hard. Except that Virgil doesn't have the weapons and the I can't think about it. He doesn't have double jump. He can't maneuver around like Dante did. That's what I was saying. Which wasn't a bad thing, but it wasn't my favorite thing either. So a lot of these trophies are just looking like they're the same because I think I popped them at the same time. Maybe I had to do the hardcore mode at the same. And when I finished each mode, I just took a while just to enjoy it. A lot of people seen me do this playthrough. It took me 3 weeks of playtime, real time, to complete the game. And that's why I'm going to say it was my favorite. Because every other game I've played so far, it's taken me months to complete them. Besides like the pixel remasters for Final Fantasy and stuff like that. But here we got our triple S rank. And then Virgil was not the villain as much as I'd really say. But you get to see his cave in when he's pretty much forsaken by Dante. And that's, you know, its own medicine needed, because I don't think we'll ever see a time where Virgil and Dante agree on everything. With that being said, though, when you unlock all of Virgil's abilities, you're given a little bit more of a choice on how to use Devil Trigger. But it just shows how they can make one game expand to catch my attention for so long. Again, it was a delight. I really do think that this was a good game. I would recommend it to people that like horror games. But this was more about realism. Like I said, you can't, you know, expect the rich and the wealthy to dig this, because a lot of the lore behind it is about how certain systems shouldn't be in place. I mean, part of the way Mundus controls society is by a soft drink. They could have used alcohol or tobacco or something like drugs or something, but it's a soft drink, like a soda or a pop, you know, those kind of drinks. And the threat was, yeah, let's just get rid of the evil soda people, and then we'll discuss things. And Virgil got, you know, forsaken by his brother, sent into this place where he had to triple S rank 5 missions, and he only has 6. So here I go for, I think it was my Virgil Must Die playthrough, which means the only thing that I needed to do was SOS trophy and then platinum it. So, was my review of this game fair? Well, when you just set it up to 3, 4, and 5, you're gonna sit there and be like, yeah, this isn't a real Devil May Cry. But 1 and 2 are different than 3, 4, and 5. And I think that this one blends in with 1 and 2. Again, it's like a copy with Virgil as Devil May Cry 3. This game has a lot to do with Devil May Cry 3. But it's not bad. And I would like Devil May Cry to be daring in the future, doing the stuff that they do. And there's the platinum trophy. Thank you for watching my video. Have a good day. Good night.